Okay, everyone. Like I said, I know everyone has a lot to do. We're going to get started. If some people join and jump on, they can always pick back up. I know in the email that I sent out, I let everybody know that this is going to be recorded. So if you do want to rewatch this or have any questions and think of any questions after the fact, you will get a follow-up email after this with some helpful links as well as a recording to this. So first, I just want to say thank you to everyone for taking the time to be here today. This is one of our first webinars that we're doing like this, so thank you. Today, we are going to be just focusing on proposals and how to create and generate proposals in just the back end of InspectPoint. For those of you who don't know me, and I think I've spoken to just about every single one of you on here, my name is Jennifer Harris, and I am a co-founder and the VP of Customer Success here at InspectPoint. On the call also, or on this, is also Brittany Carroll. She is our Customer Success Specialist. She will be compiling all questions that are coming through. So just a few kind of housekeeping items. As you can probably tell, I have everyone muted. It's just to sort of help with background noise and just make sure that we aren't distracted by any noises that might arise. So if you do have any questions, please leave them in the chat box on the GoToMeeting. If you have a pop-up of the GoToMeeting on your screen, it's going to be located right below the webcam area. If you have GoToMeeting up on your screen, sort of in the browser, you will see a little chat bubble icon over to the right. So at any point throughout this, if you have any questions, just drop them in there. Brittany will be sort of compiling them. And then at the end, if we have time and if we have any questions, we'll kind of go through those together. So without further ado, let's get started. So I know we kind of, and I kind of covered this in the email, but today we're going to kind of quickly cover proposals. The point of this is to try to keep this within a half hour, show you how to use it, answer any questions, and then of course let you get on with your busy day. So today what we're going to do is cover how to add and edit proposed corrections. You need proposed corrections or have to have that feature turned on in order to see proposals in your instance of InspectPoint. We're going to go over the various parts of the proposal screen, what autofills, what doesn't. Then we're actually going to create a proposal, generate a proposal, and then learn how to edit that proposal. The proposal feature is helpful because it keeps all of your information in one location. So no longer do you have to jump between various programs. You sort of have access to everything in one location. So from inside InspectPoint, you have access to those proposed corrections that you've set up. You have access to the deficiencies that have been sent back from the technicians in the field, and you also have access to the contact and building information. So without having to jump around, you kind of have all of that at your fingertips. So we can get on with this and kind of get everyone going to, let's take a quick look at this, this feature. So I will just going to jump in to InspectPoint. And for those of you who do not have this proposals tab over on the left-hand side over here, just if you want proposals after this and if you don't have access to proposals, just email support@inspectpoint.com. Let us know and we will turn on the proposal feature for you. Like I said, you have access to the backend, and technicians in the field can also do these proposals, but that's a whole other training in itself. So today, if we want to do proposals in the backend, first thing, like I mentioned, you have to have corrections. Now, you don't have to use corrections, but you at least have to have this feature turned on. Proposed corrections, for those of you who don't use or know what proposed corrections are, these are sort of fixed priced items that can quickly be referenced and thrown onto a proposal should you need them. To get to these corrections and also to set these corrections up, what you're going to do is go to this proposals tab. You're going to go down to corrections. And then once you've set up these corrections, you're going to see a full list of them here. So any of them that I've added will be listed here, any of the types, prices, etc. But if we want to start from scratch and add these proposals, what we're going to do, or these proposed corrections, I should say, we're going to click New Proposed Correction in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And what we're going to do is just simply type the item in here. So let's just say I'm doing a wrench. I can from there assign this to a very particular type of inspection. So if I would like my technicians in the field to only be able to access this or see this on a sprinkler inspection or a fire extinguisher, etc., I can do that. In this case, I'm just going to keep it general so it appears all the time. And then what I'm going to do is just give a price to it. Let's just say this is $50. Once I've given it a description and or a name, a type, and a price, I'm going to go ahead and click Save. And that's going to be then added to my list of proposed corrections. Now that I've added it, I can always edit it and I can always delete it. So if it's on this screen and you've made a mistake, maybe there's a duplicate, you can always go in and edit, like I said, or you can delete. If we wanted to edit a proposed correction, let's just say we wanted to actually just delete this spare head wrench. What I'm going to do is click on Edit next to the proposed correction, and I'm going to simply click Delete Proposed Correction. Of course, before you delete anything inside Inspect Point, we're always going to make sure that that's exactly what you want to do. So if you do want to delete this proposed correction, go ahead and click OK. You'll be redirected back out to your proposed corrections list where you will no longer see that. If I wanted to change the price of something, say it's a new year, prices have gone up, I want to adjust it for all my proposals going forward, I'm going to click on Edit next to that proposed correction, simply adjust the price. I still want to keep it active, so I still want it to be available in the dropdown, so I'm going to keep that box checked, and I'm going to click Update. Now, I can now see Gauge has updated from $50 to $60. So, like I mentioned, these proposed corrections are just helpful. These can quickly be added to a proposal. And like I said, they're more fixed priced items. In addition to proposed corrections, though, you also have the opportunity to add proposal line items. So that's where you'd want to use more if you want to have a little bit more detail or you need to get a quote and you need to get more information on it. You can add those as line items. So once you've sort of set up some proposed corrections, or if you're interested in that, and you want to start creating a proposal, what you're going to do is from the Proposals tab, hit the arrow, and then select Proposals. And you're going to come to your Proposals listing screen. If you've created proposals, they will all be listed here. You can view them. You can start adding them to Customer Portal. But for all intents and purposes on this training, we're going to create a new proposal. So in this upper right-hand corner, you're going to go ahead and click New Proposal. And then you're going to see your proposal screen. So quickly, you'll see that there's some information already pre-filled in for you. The proposal date field will always autofill to the current date that it is. If you need to adjust that date, you can always drop into the field, highlight it, or just adjust the date from there. The proposal number autofills in just based on the number of proposals that you've created. We constantly just keep adding a number to it, just so every proposal has a unique number. And then you'll also notice that your company information autofills in. So this is the information that is set up in your settings area. So if you do need to adjust this, you can always come in here. Maybe we want to remove a number or just change the way it looks. And we can always come in and make those adjustments. To sort of help speed things up, you've already set up all of your buildings. So instead of recreating the wheel and typing the information in all over again, to select a customer so that this information or this proposal can be sent to them, from this drop down in this Choose Buildings, you're going to see a full list of all of the buildings that you already have added in Inspect Point. You can scroll through, or what you can do is just simply use the search feature up top. You'll search for the building, select the building, and then next thing you know, all of the information will appear there. This information is driven off of the billing information. So if this information is not set up, it may not all pull in here. We also have on the building screen the ability for you to kind of quickly add this into the billing information section should you want to start using the proposals. By default, you'll see that this tab down here, Show in Customer Portal, is checked. If you would like the proposal to appear there, leave it checked. If not, just simply uncheck it, and then you can always come back in at a later date, maybe once you have this confirmed and ready to go. Maybe you want to make a few edits. You can always come back in when you go to edit the proposal, recheck this button, and it will be sent to Customer Portal for your customer to view. So once you've kind of created and added your proposal information, your company information, and your customer information, it's time to start adding, I guess, the details of it. So what is it that you want to propose to your customer? So I'm going to start with my proposed corrections. Those, like I mentioned, are what we set up before, those fixed priced items. I'm going to quickly add them, then get into my more detailed proposal line items. So to add a proposed correction that I've already set up, what I'm going to do is click Add Proposed Correction. And from this dropdown, I'm going to see a full list of all of the proposed corrections that I have already set up. Let's just say I want to replace or propose that we need to replace a few caps. I'm going to select caps. I'm going to skip the choose factor. A quantity, let's say it's going to default to 1, but let's say we have 3 that we want to propose. It was not completed on site, so what I'm going to do is just sort of tab over to that total field, give it a minute to refresh, and then eventually that total will appear here in that field. Then what I'm going to do is continue to add a couple more. So let's just say I also have a wrench, maybe that wrench that I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tab over. And like I said, the price will appear there in the total field. Now what I want to do after I've added a couple of those proposed corrections is I want to start adding some line items. So I won't make you sit here and watch me type out some very long line item, but this could be as detailed as you want. Whatever you type in this description field is what your customer sees. And so people could work just proposed corrections on a proposal. Some people only use proposal line items and create just one line item where they kind of explain it all, and they give one total price. So like I said, whatever you type into this, so I'm just going to type test proposal line item just so we can see what it'll look like on the generated proposal. Let's say I'm only doing one, unit price is 100. And now we'll see that the other prices have updated as well there onto the screen. But the unit price is set to 100. There's a total for it. There's a total for my caps, and there's a total for my wrenches. If I wanted to add additional line items, I could. But at this point, let's just say this proposal is good. This is what I want to propose to my customer for work. We now have the ability for you to add sales tax to this if you need it. So let's just say I'll do based on some of the New York taxes, and I'll add the sales tax in. And once I hit tab, you'll notice that the total amount down here automatically adjusts based on the subtotal plus the sales tax. Lastly, there's a couple of things that we can add to this proposal should we want to add some more information. This notes area down here underneath the proposed corrections and the total amount. This by design and in some of your instances may be blank. We have the ability for you, if you have a very specific set of notes that you'd like to appear on every single one of your proposals, if you send that text over to us, we can add that in so that every time you generate a proposal, like on my screen, these notes will auto appear. I haven't typed these beforehand. This is just what I'd like to appear on every single proposal. So therefore, it's in the code and I can see it. Like I said, if you have something like this and you don't want to type it every time, just shoot an email over to support@inspectpoint.com and we'll get that added for you. If not, you can always click Edit Notes and type into this field whatever you'd like to print at the bottom of the proposal. Once done, of course, always click Save, and the notes will be there. Same thing with scope of work. So scope of work will appear towards the top of the proposal. This can be as long as you would like. There's no character limit on this. If for whatever reason you do get some sort of a character limit from it, just let us know. We can always adjust it. But what you can do is you'll click Edit Scope of Work, and I'm just going to type something in here just so you see what it looks like when we generate the proposal. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click Save. And at this point, I can make any adjustments that I want. I can scroll back up, just make sure everything looks good. Oh, maybe I forgot to do my prepared by. And let's just say I'm going to make this for Brittany. I'm going to scroll down. And now I have two options. I can either save the proposal so that I can go back in and edit it at any time, or I can save and generate the proposal. Now, even if I generate the proposal, I can still go back and edit it. At this point, its show in customer portal has not been checked, so therefore my customer will not see it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click Save and Generate Report. And just like when you're generating a report in the back end, the green success bar is going to appear up at the top, and it's going to let you know that you're going to get an email when the proposal is ready to be viewed, and to navigate back to that proposals page when you receive that email. So let's navigate back over to that proposals tab, and it's still generating for us. I'm going to navigate back out. I'm just going to go back in. All right, and there it is. It's ready for us to view. So we now see our proposal up top here. We see the date, the current date. We see that it's for the Winterfell building, and we see the total. Now, if I want to view what this proposal is going to look like, I can click download, just like I would for my reports, and I will see the generated proposal. On here, you'll see that I'll see not only the proposal date, but the proposal number. I'll see who it's prepared by and my company information, along with who it's prepared for and their company information, and I will see my logo in the upper right-hand corner. From there, I'll see that scope of work up towards the top, bolded, so that you can really explain to your customer exactly what you need to do. And then you'll see in the description down here, there's no difference on the proposals between, or designation, I should say, between your proposed corrections and your proposal line items. So they all appear as one on here. You'll see, of course, not only the description of it, but you will see the quantity, the unit price, and the total per item that you're proposing, as well as the sales tax, what the sales tax is, and the actual unit price for the sales tax. You'll then see the total down below. And then you'll see those notes that you've had. So if you type those in, those will appear there. If that notes area is left blank, you will not see the notes bar, and you won't see any notes down there. So it won't look like anything is missing. Same thing with scope of work. So if you don't fill in scope of work, then it won't look as if anything is missing from there. At this point, if I like the proposal, what I can do is download the proposal to my computer to email it out to my customer, or I can always print this and mail it out if that's my process. If not, what I'm going to do is, let's say I want to make a quick adjustment to this. I've noticed I want to maybe expand a little bit on my scope of work, or I actually might want to just get rid of my scope of work altogether. What I'm going to do is tap the back arrow. I'm going to click Edit Details I'm going to locate the proposal and click Edit Details. I'm going to scroll down until I see that scope of work area. I'm going to click into that scope of work area, delete what's on there, click Save, and then maybe I just want to take a quick glance. Maybe I'm ready for this to show up in the the customer portal, so I'm going to go ahead and check that box. I'm going to scroll back down, and I'm going to click Update and Generate Report. I want to update this, and I want to regenerate the proposal so I have these updates available for my customer. Now, every single time that I make an edit, it does not create a new proposal. This proposal will always be attached. This one that I've created for the Winterfell building for this will always be 12480. Every time I make an update, it will not give me a new proposal number. Once again, I will navigate to the Proposals tab, and I will now see if I click Download. I will see the scope of work is now removed. I'll still see all of the corrections, all of the line items and the sales tax that I've proposed, as well as the notes. So once again, I can download this, I can print it. I can also hit this back arrow and I can send to my contact from directly inside InspectPoint. So if the contact on this building or the contact has an email associated with them, just like with your reports, you can click send to contacts. It will open up your primary email client and it will send a non-editable PDF link to your customer to view the report or this proposal. At the same time, we've also checked that we want this to show up in customer portal. So your customer can then now log into their customer portal to view this proposal as well. So I know we went through that fast and I know we went through a lot of it. So I'm just going to kind of pop back over and just sort of wrap this up. Like I said, we wanted to keep this to a half hour and we've got some time for some questions if we have any. So some key takeaways from today are that no longer do you have to create inspections because now this proposals tab is not just attached to inspections. You can create inspections for buildings and you can create them for inspections. So if you are proposing work for a new customer, all you have to really do is just go in there, create the building, and you can create a proposal. Like I said, no longer is it just attached to those inspections. You can display this inside your customer profile or the customer portal so your customers can quickly log in and see it. We're going to be continuing to make advancements to that. So eventually what we would like is proposals go in there, and then eventually your customers will be able to accept or reject those proposals, which will then help with your service and just sort of help you not have to reach out and follow up with them as often. You can quickly convert these proposals into invoices. There's going to be a lot more coming out on invoices, and I'll do an entire training just on invoices. But if proposals are coming back from the field, or if you are quickly generating proposals and you want to generate that into an invoice, you don't have to recreate it all over again and redo your proposal to make it an invoice. You can quickly do that, and I'll have a whole other training on that. You also have direct access to just about everything from inspection prices, deficiencies, recommendations, and notes. So if you are creating these based off of inspections, you can look at what the technicians are sending back to you and really add a lot of detail to the proposals. And then kind of most importantly, as I kind of mentioned in the very beginning, it's having all of our information in one location, not having to jump between programs, but really utilizing InspectPoint for the inspections and then creating the proposals from there. So at this point, we're going to check to see if we have any questions. So let me just see. Okay, Brittany, are you there?
Hi, Jennifer. I'm here.
All right, do we have any questions?
At this time, we don't have any questions.
Okay. Oh, I actually see one in here. I'm going to actually put you back on mute for a sec, okay, Brittany?
Okay.
Okay. So I see one in here from John. The question is there a way to separate the labor and material costs in a breakdown? Our accounting department tracks job costs that way. I would say, I can probably also take that offline with you, John, but I think if you create them as separate line items, that might help. I don't know if that's exactly what you're getting at with that. I hope that helps, but you could break down labor. So some people do use line items to put labor costs versus the material costs. So it is a separate line item on the proposal. So that is one way that people do keep track of the labor on there. If you wanted to, you could always create a separate proposal just for the labor, but to not duplicate the work, many people will just use a line item to keep track of labor, or they actually will set up the labor as a hourly rate, so as a flat rate, and then they'll just indicate that as a proposed correction, and then just set the amount of time they think, the hours it will take. So I think that might be the only question that we have at this time. So at this point, I'm going to just sort of wrap up. I know, like I said, we're actually doing quite well on time. So if you think of any questions after today, I know this was very fast and I just threw a lot at you, but feel free to contact us at any point with any questions. If you want to set up the proposal, or if you don't have access to proposals, like I said, please contact us at support@inspectpoint.com. Give us a call on our dedicated support line at 855-743-9598. And if you think of any questions after the fact, please let me know. As I mentioned, this has been recording, so hopefully all technology has been going well, and I can send you the recording to this so you can reference it if you need to at any time. I'll also be sending a few links over, just videos, quick videos on how to do what we just covered, as well as some helpful information. So I just want to thank all of you for being here today. And if you have any questions, please let us know.